happened there?
He
We got
hadn't
disconnected
removed their
there.
GPLs. He'd merely switched them to a different frequency.
GPL
Pritchard was able to trace one of the signals to
We're
China.
nearing the end of this, and then we'll jump
Malik
into
and I
gameplay.
immediately took off in pursuit.
So we're going to try and keep this all in one video, but now this is going to be split into two. Just to recap if anyone wanted to watch it.
Ambushed. Shot out of the sky by Bell Tower Associates, seconds after entering Hengsha's airspace.
Malik can die. This is where Malik can die.
After a tense and bitter struggle, I escaped into Lower Hengsha. The tracking signal I was following led straight to the Triads.
There's a bunch of guys there. You can either stay there and fight them and save her, or she will die.
Leader of a gang of augmentation harvesters. Tong said they'd taken the arm off a corpse, which Bell Tower had left at their door.
Yep.
Meaning, at least one of Seraph's scientists was dead. Maybe not the rest of them, though. Tong pointed me to a port used for human trafficking and helped me slip aboard a Bell Tower ship. It was sailing to Rifleman Bank Station, a military base in the South China Sea. Bell Tower was holding kidnapped civilians as prisoners there, and using them to perfect the Hyron Project, a human-computer interface that left most of its test subjects dead.
Yep.
My search for Megan would have ended then, if not for a mysterious ally named Quinn. In exchange for my help exposing Bell Tower, he slipped me aboard a second ship headed to Singapore, and an Illuminati-run biotech facility called Omega Ranch.
Yes, the Illuminati
3 of Seraph's scientists were there,
in this game.
forced by their captors to create a technology capable of remotely shutting down augmented abilities.
Yep.
Thanks to an emergency recall notice issued by the World Health Organization, millions of people all over the world already had the biochip installed. With the help of the scientists, I tracked Megan to a private section of the ranch. There, I ran into Yaron Namir, the walking tank who'd put a bullet in my brain the first time we met. He'd teamed up with Zhao and was hoping to catch me off guard. Their little ambush didn't work. I found Megan in a suite belonging to Hugh Darrow, the billionaire philanthropist who Seraph had called on for help.
Yep.
Darrow had convinced her to go along with the biochip plan by promising to sabotage
Darrow's
the
not
tech.
such a good guy.
As she was explaining this, Darrow appeared in a global broadcast, telling the world that augmentations would be the death of mankind. Then he activated the biochips to prove his point. All over the world, augmented people flew into a killing frenzy. Darrow had betrayed everyone, and it was up to me to set things right. To do it, I had to reach Panchaea, a massive installation in the Arctic Ocean. As I raced through corridors built by an all-augmented workforce, I saw death and destruction firsthand. By the time I shut down Darrow's broadcast, I knew the damage he'd done.
Yep.
Still, humanity's future remained unclear. How would the world react to this sabotage? Would people ever regain their faith in augmentations again? What would be the Illuminati's next move? Only time could give us the answers.
So that basically wraps up the story of Human. That's basically the bullet points of the story of Human Revolution. From my understanding, let's take a look at the options here. Gameplay. Got aim assist turned on right now. Vibrations on right now. Auto sort inventory, sure. Cover prompts, cover to cover line, interaction prompts. These all seem good. Let's take a look at all the stuff. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just showing you guys a little bit of what I do. I do check this out a lot. So really, that's interesting. Alright, so you have Mankind Divided controls, Iron Sight on L2, Fire on R2, Augments on L1, Throw Secondary Weapon on R1, Options, in-game menus, sprint on triangle, interact reload on square, jump on X, takedowns on circle, camera, crouch / inventory wheel on R3, enter cover / og wheel on L3 and move. So where does that put the augmentation wheel when you go to Human Revolution? There was no augmentation rule. Puts iron sight back on R3, sprint on L1, enter cover on L2. Because where's cover on here? Enter cover is clicking the stick. Okay. Inventory wheel still rolls on triangle. Looks like that's the only thing, is where the inventory wheel crouch on L3. Well, there's standard, which is takedowns on R3. Breach. I like Human Revolution control scheme, because that's... I mean, I played this game not that long ago. Having the cover on L2 is like... Having cover on L2 is like one of the only the weirdest thing, part of this thing. Iron Sight, I understand why it's on L2. I think I've had games that have had it on L2. I like having it on the stick. Just clicking the stick in for that, I'm fine with that. Crouch, I definitely like crouch on a stick. The weapon wheel being on triangle I like, because it's right there. Takedowns, circle. I'm also subconsciously mapping this in my head to an Xbox controller, because that's what I'm most familiar with. Which would be triangles, A is jump, B is circle, is takedowns, square is X is interact, triangle is Y is inventory. So, both those controls. I'm not sure. That's my only thing, is if you're going with this, where do you have your og wheel? I don't know, I'll figure it out. Actually, you know, let's go ahead and put it on Mankind Divided to start with. We'll try that out first, and then we'll move on from there. I don't want to deal with that. That's fine. Language is English and English. Jensen's Stories. Standalone story that can spoil the Mankind Divided storyline. Let's not play that then. Let's play the full game first. So sorry. Like I was trying to say is that this is the kind of stuff I do. And when I first pick up a game like this, I'm just showing you guys what I do. And I typically will look at that stuff before I dive into it. And then I'll look at any bonuses, any extras, controls. Here we go. 2029. Here we come. I never asked for this. Whoa! I would never play this. Games aren't realistic enough for you. Give me Deus Ex, but just like in real life. You only live once. If you die, you have to restart the game from the beginning. Your save game will not help you. Complete the game once to unlock this difficulty. I would never want to play that. I know there are people who love that kind of thing. That sounds awful. Give me a story. You play games for their story and experience, not their challenge or competitiveness. Enjoy the Deus Ex experience. That sounds perfect. Story and experience. That's why I play games. That's definitely why I play games. Games with good story, games with good worlds, good experience. So yeah. Alright, so control scheme, it lets us choose again. Alright, let's see what they say about them. You enjoy playing games as they were designed to be played. If there's a learning curve, you want to master the most fluid method of controlling. Adam Jensen. The controls in Deus Ex Human Revolution were perfect. Why mouse with a good thing? It's the closest possible recreation of the control scheme that still meets the needs of Mankind Divided's gameplay. Standard is your skills have been sharpened by years playing various FPS games, and you want to feel familiar territory. Career is specially crafted for the ultimate Ripper experience. This scheme caters to speedruns while still offering the full possibilities of the game. So my only thing is that going with the human, I personally kind of want to go with the Human Revolution one. I just don't know what that means for our augmentation wheel. I don't know. I think this hopefully should be changeable mid-game, so we'll go ahead and start with Mankind Divided. And then it wants us to watch the 12-minute recap. It's 12 minutes. I didn't realize it was that long of a video. Wow. Alright, so I'm officially calling it, this is where the break will be. So because the internet crapped out, because my game crapped out of me and I lost the stream there for a minute, this is the end of the second part of the series. If you guys are watching on YouTube. Video 3. There's also notes for myself as well. I'm going to make sure I mark them as such that Video 3 is the start of actual gameplay. Here we go. Square Enix and Eidos Montreal.
I once thought I could save the world. Now look at it.
In yet another augmented terror attack, 251 passengers aboard Sista Airlines Flight 451 were killed when an augmented passenger broke into the plane's cockpit and ruthlessly butchered its flight crew. Details recovered from the black box recorder.
Man, that hair.
I
know she's a hologram, but still, that hair is something.
2 years ago, when augmented people all over the world flew into a
Sorry, it's 2
psychotic
years.
spree, causing the greatest
2 years
loss of
after
life in
Human
recent
Revolution.
history.
Sometimes you just have to let go and embrace what you've become.
Not gonna go all wonky on us now, Hansa, are ya?
Well, if I do, McCready, I guarantee you'll never see it coming.
Agent Jensen! Am I gonna have a problem with you?
No, sir. No reason to assume you would.
Good. Because you are the only augmented operative on this team, and I intend to make good use of you.
Listen up, all of you.
We got a sandstorm barreling down our arse and we can't afford to make mistakes. We're going after this man, an arms dealer named Shepard. He's ex-Bell Tower, one of the Special Forces commanders who disappeared during the incident.
And he's come out of hiding. That cannot be good.
It's not. He's selling weapons and military-grade augments to terrorists. This is Aran Singh, the undercover agent who lured Shepard out of his hole. Best you see Interpol's got. For 3 years he's worked hard to get in tight with the Jinn, an Iraqi smuggling cartel that's infected the Eastern Hemisphere like a plague. Last week, our arms dealer sent a message to the Jinn, offering to sell them a shitload of black market merchandise dirt cheap. They told Singh to handle the buy.
They're not gonna like it when Interpol disrupts their party. Singh's cover really that good?
It is right now. We need to keep it that way.
Okay.
This is where the deal's going down. A half-finished high-rise hotel that's been abandoned ever since the incident. It's not a pretty picture inside.
Let me guess. Most of the laborers were augmented with heavy-duty industrial rigs. So when the incident hit, and they all went schizo, things got gruesome real fast.
And no one, except for some homeless junkies, have been inside the place ever since.
So what's the plan, Director?
Singh's meeting Shepard on the ground floor, inside the hotel's main atrium. He sent the bulk of his Jinn crew to the penthouse levels to secure a vantage point. I want McCready's team to take up positions overlooking the atrium and make the arrest. Jensen, you're going in solo from the roof.
My objectives?
Keep the Jinn from joining the party. As far as we can tell, only one route connects the atrium to the penthouse level, a halfway decent elevator shaft. Here. I want you to block access to it.
Fine. Just cut me loose.
Do you plan on relying solely on your augments for this one? I'd recommend taking a little hardware, just to be sure.
Okay. Alright, so actually, real quick, now that we're out of that Well, that's not what I want to do. Sorry, I turned down my headphones earlier, but now I need to turn it back up. Alright. Lethal or non-lethal? I know there's a trophy for going in non-lethal. I really like the pistol in Human Revolution. If the pistol's anything like the other pistol. We'll go non... Pistol's usually pretty easy to find. We'll go non-lethal to start with.
We've got a UC in there. Might be easier to maintain his cover if he's not the only one still breathing when this is done.
Smart thinking.
Yeah, but if anything does happen to him, you'll be telling his wife. After you get out of the hospital, of course.
Okay.
What about range? There's lots of wide spaces and high ceilings in there, but a number of tight and constrained rooms too.
So it's a crapshoot, really.
Give me a stun gun.
Never was one to play the odds. Give me something I can use up close.
You got it. One last thing, Jensen. Singh said that Jin are using some sort of portable Wi-Fi device to boost communications. He's got a better chance of maintaining cover if you disable it.
We'll keep an eye out for it. But aren't we on the clock here? You said there's a sandstorm moving in.
There is, and we got the intel on this mission at the very last minute. So we're scrambling a little. If it comes to it, your #1 priority is keeping the Jinn out of that atrium.
Copy
Okay.
that.
Time to put away your happy thoughts, gentlemen. We're approaching the target building.
You're up first, Jensen. Let's do this.
Something weird about the way mouths are moving.
Task force action.
So the cutscenes look great, and then you got into actual gameplay, and the mouths are just like... when they're moving, it looks very weird. I don't know, I believe PC is probably the best way to play this game. I know PS4 is better than Xbox One from the reports I've heard. That hair, though. Alright. Let's keep an eye on the clock. Do only have so long I can play, because I am going to need to hit the sack at some point to go to work tomorrow. Alright, I just want to see if there's an option for... subtitles. There we go.
Team leader, this is Jensen on the move.
Solid copy. Move into the building. The access route you need to block is at the far end of the penthouse.
So does that put down my gun? Okay, I do like that they've separated out the biocell off over there, the hyposome over there, so they're separated off of the weapon wheel.
And keep in mind, the direct route might not be the easiest one.
Roger that.
McCready will advise once his team is on the ground. Miller out.
Alright, we're also, real quick, I'm gonna need to move... move my... This is why I prefer... it when it doesn't have to have my face on here. That should be a little better. Yeah, there's too much stuff in that bottom right corner. I mean, to put my face there. Traffic cones are throwable. Okay, I'm going to